Welcome everybody back to, here we go, making sure I look good. All right, everyone, welcome back to Bear's Workshop. We're going to be doing our 235th flyover of the Nikola site. And I know it's a little bit of an unusual time. People may not have been expecting the video today, but yes, we got out there and we got it done. Woo. So we're going to give people a couple minutes to get on. While we do that, we're going to take a look at the market today. Open to the road. Yo, Bear. You're first, by the way. Thanks for being here. All right, now we see people popping on here. All right, so another horrible day for just about everybody. We can see Nikola was down 25 cents, down to $3. Actually dipped down to 288. The high for the day was 329, and it opened at 326. So can't say I know what happened, except that the market is just continuing to be a bear market. Because not only was Nikola down, Lucid was down, let's see, 69 cents. Tesla was down just about 11 cents, not too much. They were up for a little bit, just a couple dollars. Ford was down big, 84 cents. Polestar actually was even for the day. Mulan and Solo were also down quite a bit, 4 cents for Mulan, which is quite a bit for that company, and 10 cents for Solo. I stopped really following Livewire, which is the motorcycle electric division of Harley Davidson. There's a spin-off from that. So anyway, not a great day at all, and hopefully we can get this passed. I can't see how much more these stocks can go down realistically, because there is value in these companies. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of days and weeks and months. So hey, JJ's here. iMelt's here to monitor things. We got someone from Korea says hello, and John Let's Go Lucid says hit the like button. All right, so let's get into the video, because that's what you guys are here for. We don't need to recap the horrible day on the market, because you know it was horrible. So, but I know Nikola's still producing trucks. Lucid was very, very busy today. A lot of new cars out there, car haulers. That video is going to be coming out in a couple hours. So stay tuned for that, because that is something that's going to be happening. And here we go through our recap progress over the months, because we've been doing this almost 2 years now. I know, right? Get a life. All right, we got 40 people on now. That's good. 17 likes, though. Half of you, you're not helping me at all. We got a good shot. Hey, JJ, thank you. That feel when the super chat is worth more than the stock. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't even know what to say to that, but that is right. That is right. I could almost buy 2 shares for that. So we came in through the north end, because south end is still under construction. You can see the test track right there. We were very unlucky as we got there. They were driving around on the test track pretty fast, and then as soon as we started flying, they stopped driving. It was just a coincidence. It wasn't because we were there. We've never had anyone tell us anything negative there, and they like the flyovers. We actually talked to someone who drives the truck on the test track, and he thought it was great. So as we're coming in here, we can see the construction on the main area, and there's a couple of things to note here. Right in this area, as we get closer, you're going to see more construction of something. I don't know, it almost looks like trenching, but then there's stuff coming out of the ground, so it makes it not look like trenching. So I don't know if there's something else going on here that we're going to have to take a look at, because we can see on this side, these are dock doors right here, not over there, but it could be an extension of the building where they have the utility closets going in. Here's the other one right here. But here's some more trenching that went on, and we can see stuff going in there. We're going to zoom in here for a second, see if we could see anything that well, we see all the pipes coming out of the ground. This is hard to tell. It almost looks like there's aggregate in there, but don't know. We're going to have to take a closer look at that on the next one. Daniel says, don't look at the stock every day. Well, I have to when I have margin calls. So, yep, I do. So, anyway, you can see the progress on the structure. And it's moving along. Again, the employee parking lot full. People parking in the dirt. All the covered parking is full, and they've got the extra parking lot. Walmart increased the length of their trailers to 60 feet. I didn't see anything about that, but what was the max on those trailers? I thought they were like 58. Is that just like 2 feet? I don't know. Anyway, you can see right there in the bottom right is the rubber membrane that's going to go up on the roof. That's already come in. Speaking of that, I was told a while ago that when you order that stuff, it takes like a year to come in. That's how long the back order is for that material. But obviously they ordered it a long time ago in order to get it in. 53 feet. So would a tray still be able to take one that's 60 feet? A tray is got a shorter wheelbase than a typical diesel. So I don't see that being a problem as long as the weight is still in line. You can see out there on Hauser Road, they're doing grading. The entire road has been torn up. We're going to take a look at that because that should look good. Both Lucid and Nikola both have their frontage roads being torn up and redone, mostly paid for by the city and the county in order to get good access, because there will be a lot of things coming in and out of both factories, and you need to have a decent road. And this road here on Hauser is not decent. It's just 2 lanes. There's no turn lane anywhere. So definitely work needed to be done, but it looks like they're getting that done. I think they're going to finish before 2023. Originally was Q1 2023. Already mentioned end of the year during earnings. I don't know if they'll get it done before the end of the year. There's a lot of work to be done on that section. There may be parts of it that are ready to go where other parts aren't. But I'm not sure. It's less than 3 months. It's a lot to do. So I still think Q1. But hey, you never know. You never know. As we're coming in here, in this area right here, those are some frames waiting and a lot of materials in boxes sitting outside. This rest of this area eventually will become more parking lot, I believe. See, Daniel, I'm not likely to sell, not at this price. Josh. Hey, Josh. Welcome to the show. Josh is our resident expert. Not really a resident. He is the expert because of who he is. But Q1, 23. I think that's, you see Josh say that. That's written in gold. Absolutely. So the cabs that are out there, I did not count. There are a lot, but I believe that there's less than what there was previously. I say that because I know that there's new trucks that were produced since our last visit last week. So they will be moving in and then moving out. Josh, what other information are you going to give us? Come on. You're the one that knows. There's those frames I was talking about. And we are seeing new frames come in, and which means the frames are going out. They have to because they're building trucks. Like I said, there are more trucks. There are newer trucks there this week than there were last week. So they just got to keep that production going. They have around 100, a little less than 180 trucks to make before the end of the year, minus what they've already made, but I'm not going to tell you how many. There are the cabs. There are almost enough cabs there to complete their production goal. So we will expect to see more cabs coming in before the end of the year. Probably a lot more, but the cabs right there are enough, almost enough. Then we have the fifth wheel hitches, which were to the left. Spinning around, we see supplies coming in, and my guess is that that's the battery building. So it is possible that those are they kind of look like the batteries. The batteries are square shaped like that. I don't know if those are them though, but it is possible. Probably should have zoomed in a little bit more on that. Each truck I think has 8 or 9 of those, and they are shaped like that. So it's very possible that those are the batteries. Here we go. Let me get a little bit more on the zoom. Let's see here. Yeah, I think those are the batteries. Not 100% sure, but I think those are the batteries. Remember, that is the battery building, so that's what they're supposed to be storing there. But those look very much like the shape of the batteries that were getting put in. I'd have to go back through my factory tour and look at the video, because we had a picture of a battery up on a hoist being lowered in. All right, towards the left there's a lot of the test trucks. There are a couple of newer ones in there, like I said. We got one on the Charger right there. Got the dyno building and the wash station right next to it. And most of that looks complete. Josh might know if they are or not, but he was not involved in the building of that. Any news on the hydrogen fueling stations? Absolutely nothing. I don't know if Nikola is going to keep quiet on their news like they have for quite a few months now. For any, the reasons, there could be plenty of them. They may be saving that information for a more timely time, or they may just be doing it until they are holding on to it because they are waiting for the Milton case to be over, which is scheduled to resume tomorrow. As we come down here and we watch this truck taking off, see the rumble strip right there on the left side of the road. I'm not sure when that went in, but we noticed it today. So that's to test the truck as far as going over bumps to see anything loose and anything that's rattling, and check out the suspension on that and make sure everything looks like it's fit. No, he's not going to hit it. He's going to go around it again. But yeah, I wouldn't want to hit that at high speed. Daniel's not selling anything as long as Nikola's building and buying tangible assets with my money. Fair enough, I agree. All right, yeah. So we were hoping that this guy was going to go on the test track, but he didn't, because when we got there, they were on the test track. But they're still zipping around. You can see that thing has a decent amount of power for a semi truck. So that's what it is. Jokol says greetings from Sweden and greetings from sunny Arizona. So we did follow this truck around because we were hoping he was going to go back, but he did not. But we often see these guys running these trucks around on the test track, just driving around testing them out. We see them hooking up to trailers and taking them out onto the freeway to see how they do. It's very important that they're doing tons of testing. They don't stop with these test trucks. They're always taking them out and running them. I don't know if they're just trying to rack up miles, just so that they have more proven miles under the belt, or if they're actually testing things. More than likely they're doing both. But they are getting the miles. We see them out on the road quite often, or leaving the factory. And I've seen them on the road, oddly enough. All right, we got about 80 people on now, and still half of you have not hit that like button. Come on, guys. Yeah, so this is a test truck. You can see the number in the dash. This is number 3. It's obviously been around for a while. And on these test trucks, I don't know if they, when they make an improvement to the overall line, if they do those improvements on the test trucks so that they're equal to what they're building. I don't know if they do that, but you see the 2 trailers on the left. Those are 2 of the trailers that they take out on tests. They have a bunch of other trailers, and they're not there right now. Well, there's one. There's a flatbed. They have a flatbed that's loaded up, and they take that one out. They've got a refrigerated one. I'm not sure where that one is unless it's out on the road right now. But that's something that happens a lot. Jokel asks, have I ever seen a truck enter the dynamo? It's a dynamometer building. It's no, I have not seen a truck enter there yet. You can see the test trucks there. They're numbered 13, 14, 10 in the gray one, which is their show truck, and then the one on the left didn't have a number that we could see. Now suddenly that gate's closed. He's opening it up right now. Thank you, Lily Mae. Thank you. And we've got greetings from Belgium. And greetings from Queen Creek, Arizona, where I'm at. Chris wonders if Iveco will be assembling them here in Europe and sell them as Iveco or as Nikola. I don't think they would be. I think they'd be selling them as Nikola. It's Nikola's engineering that is the powertrain. And I don't think that would be good for Nikola at all if they were selling them under the Iveco name. Might be good for Iveco. PepsiCo is testing hydrogen trucks in Australia. Nikola needs to make a phone call. Ray Hubble, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. I'm going to buy another 1.5 shares of Nikola. William says, Nikola's reaching a pivotal time as a company. Great things to come this next year. I am truly looking forward to the stock price, or not the stock price, but the earnings report on November 2nd, and seeing how the stock price is affected by that. Maybe in a couple of weeks we'll be a little bit past this bear market. You see the top of the dyno building, all the HVAC equipment is all set up, so it looks like everything is running there. Here we can see the trucks all lined up. The ones on the right are the newer trucks. Ones all the way on the left are not, but I believe all the ones, except for the last 2, I think most of those are sellable trucks. There might be 1 or 2 that aren't, but when we looked at the tags, they all look like they're sellable trucks. So they're going to start stacking up in that area, which is going to be fantastic. Maybe they're going to, I don't know, I hope they don't wait until like the end of December to ship them all out the last 2 days like they've done the last 2 quarters. But if they wait that long, there is going to be a lot of trucks sitting there because they are definitely ramping up. See all the construction on the left-hand side. Josh, if you're still here, is there anything you want to tell us about that? Please do. Feed us unimportant information, like how many AC units are going to be there. Oh, geez, that's funny. I'm going to take this text message. It's from Josh. He's driving on the road. All right. Well, thank you, Josh. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. There again, you see the employee parking lot. Lots of people there. The lot on the top is for construction employees. Janine is here. Hello all. Does anyone know how the RMO deal is doing? Will they prolong the vote as long as it takes so that company is acquired? Yes, I believe that they will. They've already shown the ability to do that. They've already extended it once, unless there was a limit. I expect them to keep extending that until they get the 50% that they need, which is what I heard that they need. Here is a nice view of the factory. Okay. this was our screenshot, and we liked it because it's so good. It pretty much has everything and almost all of the test track also. Missing a little bit of the employee parking lot and the security station, but that's okay. So battery building over here. The assembly line runs through the middle of this building, through here, and then right up the middle. Actually, I'm going to say right up the middle here. And then they've got their quality control right here. Trucks come off the, well, they have an area for alignment right about here. And the line probably ends about here. It was the 2 stations after they get off the main line. One was for alignment. I forget what the other one was for, but right around here, they're doing their quality check. There's a paint shop, a paint booth right here. Very large paint booth. If you guys want to see what it looks like inside, go back and look at my video from the factory tour, which was around April 27th. When we were in here, this area over here was not, I think actually the line is like right here. I think I was off. It's like right in the middle. This area wasn't filled up. There is a lot of workstations here for, I think for engineers working on site, or maybe something else, I don't know. So they had some engineers working on site here, and there was a break area about here. This area was fairly empty when we were there. They had just finished that. But the assembly line, they're going to be putting in more, and it's going to be going up through here. Maybe on our next one, we'll take a look at that, the assembly line, what the next phase is going to look like with all of this here. Because it's pretty detailed. They know what they're doing. And yes, this is a cool shot. So this whole area is just going to be more of the assembly line, just giving them the ability to have much greater production. I think it was like 60 jobs per day if they can, once they get that all set up. 60 jobs per day would be maximum production. So, you know, they're not going to need that for a while, but that's just saying what they can do if they need to ramp things up, as long as there wasn't a supply issue or anything like that. So maybe on our next flyover we'll do some comparisons. We'll lay this out next to the template that I have, because I think that's pretty interesting to look at. And also over here, they've been doing a lot more grading in this area right here. I believe this area is going to be mostly blank. It may be paved or something like that. Not sure. We see docks, doors for docks are going to be here. So I'm going to assume that there's going to be some, either some concrete or some asphalt. Oh, and here we got this guy coming back. Still didn't go on the test track, but he went up and down the old test loop. And there's our Twitter handle right there. If you guys haven't, take a look at us on Twitter so you can get all the updates. But we just couldn't get this guy to get on the test track. And over here we got a couple of the mobile charging trailers and a generator right in the middle, and these all have generators in them. I believe that they do either that, or they have to connect to the grid somehow, and it would take something that's kind of powerful. But those mobile charging trailers are to get into locations that would not have access to the electricity. So they have a very decent test track. It's too bad Josh is driving right now, so because he could have told us a little bit more about that test track, you know, whatever he's allowed to say. He's got an NDA, and I know he's not going to violate it. So that was today's flyover. And thank you for all the patrons who support the channel. I appreciate that. These are the list of them. I don't think we have it completely updated yet, because there's always changes going on in that. For those who arrive late, I'm going to restart it. We'll skip this part. And What do you guys think about the progress today? What do you think about the stock? What makes you more nervous? The stock price or production? That's easy. The stock price, because I'm seeing production, so that's good. I think they'll hit their 300, and right now I'm thinking they're going to go over 300. I don't have any inside information. You guys got any thoughts? Remember, 300 is the bottom end of their goal, and my opinion on quarter three was that they reached the top end of their goal of, I think, 75. I think they'll be right around that. So that's, yeah, I think they're going to be right around 70. I think was what was it 70? 120? No, might have been 80. I think they're going to exceed their goal. I'm having trouble with math in my head, like always. Deep says the stock price gets them excited because you're buying, right? iMelt says 425 end of year. Get this down to $2 and he's a buyer. Wow, I really hope not. Open to the Road says keep buying the dips and get super rich in 5 to 10 years. To the moon in the long run. Daniel says, what is causing the bear market right now is daily tax strains from the Treasury to pay for things like infrastructure subsidies will help companies like Nikola. Well, the entire market is suffering, and because every day we're just hearing bad news regarding inflation, jobs report, everything just comes back bad. And until we start getting some good news, things aren't going to really turn around. And everyone's earnings report, which will start coming out soon, is maybe the only thing that can help the market turn around if they're not bad, or they're not as bad as expected, if that makes any sense. William says production's most important, stock will follow. I agree with that. Janine is nervous about how low Powell is taking this market, saving us from inflation by making us poorer in our 401ks. That is a true statement. That is a true statement. Why are the shorts not letting go? How low can they make Nikola go? I think it's more than Nikola. I mean, we looked at the stock price when we first started of several different car manufacturers, and they're all suffering the same. And I honestly, I don't know why some of them are suffering, and I know why some of them are. Their sales have dropped off dramatically, but Tesla's sales are still up, and they're way up year over year, quarter over quarter. So why are they suffering? Nikola is meeting their goals on production. Lucid has finally kicked it into gear, which would be first gear because a Lucid only has one gear. And they're moving out cars on a daily basis. It's been quite a few trips out there, and there's always a car hauler plus there moving cars out, and people are getting their cars. Let's see. Deep says you have the trial, you have Fed's not printing. The building, to be frank, is small, no infrastructure, lots of headwinds, but I believe in hydrogen and nuclear power. Deeps, I'll tell you that building is not small. It's bigger than a Pizza Hut, and a Pizza Hut is small because they only need to make pizza in there. They don't need to have a giant building. Nikola doesn't need a giant building to produce the amount of trucks that they want to produce. The building is several 100,000 square foot. It's adequately sized for what they're doing. If you want to make a giant building that's 1 million square foot and you don't need it, you've just put a lot of capital into something that you don't need. So why do it? And they're moving along in their phases. Future phases will increase this entire site to over 1 million square foot. But since it's not necessary right now, why spend the capital? So I've had people come on here and just complain about the size of it. There's no reason to. They're able to produce the trucks right now. Brown is, let's see, Joey says they engineered the trucks, which is one of the hardest things to do. Production is manageable. Only big thing left to do is the hydrogen fueling infrastructure. That is probably the only big thing left to do that I can think of. I mean, of course, building a factory is big, but that can be done. People build factories all the time. Uh, Getting the hydrogen infrastructure is going to be more difficult, and it's going to be something that's going to take some time. Brown JD84, I'm nervous about battery electric vehicles gross margin going positive by end of 23, hoping to see good progress from quarter 2 to quarter 3 and beyond. I don't think we're going to see good progress on the margins in quarter 3. The whole Romeo deal is supposed to cost them more on the margin in the short term, but in the long term, it's going to save them hundreds of millions of dollars. Let's see. They're juicing the trial. Daniel says the government is running a surplus. They're taking money out of circulation. You know, economy is contracting right now from high taxes. Uh, High taxes are always going to have a negative effect on companies. I'm sure there. I believe that there's more to it than just that. When is Trevor's trial going to be over? That's almost an easy question to answer because it resumes tomorrow. The defense, I believe, was just about to rest their case, and then it's going to go immediately to the jury. And it is possible that within a few days of the defense closing their case, that we'll have an answer. Deep says they have to store parts outside, so I assume they are short on space. Okay. That's probably accurate. Uh, but is it worth building a structure to store, let's say, frames and cabs inside you? Cabs take up a lot of space, and is it financially reasonable to spend money to put those cabs inside, especially when they're going to spend their entire life outside anyway? Same thing with the frames, the fifth wheel hitches, which we're looking at right now, the tires. I mean, all those things get cycled in fairly quickly. Like the tires, that's the only thing that, like, I would say you didn't want to keep in the sun for too long, but they get cycled in. I'm sure there's not tires sitting there from the first shipment, first in, first out type of thing. William says, "Be great if Trevor gets off." I don't share that opinion. Everything that he did is the catalyst behind all the haters for Nikola, and it shouldn't have been done. Now, I'm not saying that other CEOs don't brag and lie and say that things are gonna happen, but it is what it is. Hey, Micah, thanks for your input. We're really glad that you give a toilet seat about Nikola's price, and it's really sad that people like you get excited and want it to go down even more. Let's see. How close is Nikola to buying Romeo? Isn't there only 2 more days to hit 51%? I don't remember the cutoff date, but they'll extend it again just like they did. Deeps, you don't get hail there. Rarely, if ever. No, we've gotten hail here before, but it's very rare. And I think like 10 years ago there was a storm not too far from, like maybe 40, 50 miles from the site, where a lot of cars got some severe hail damage. But the point is these cabs are going to be out there regardless. You're talking about whatever their waiting period is from when they get delivered to when they get built, and then they're going to be outside forever after that. So if you want to protect them for a once every 10-year storm, I mean, that's not worth it. Just think about all the completed trucks that would be sitting out there that would get hit with the same hail. But occasionally we get hail. But like I said, it's been 10 years since like there was a hailstorm around here that damaged cars and was a big deal. It was a big deal for all the TV news station, because when it rains, it's the headline of the night. So a hailstorm would be pretty exciting. Right. Well, we are at 35 minutes. We let Micah speak, and I even responded to his nonsense. So if you guys got anything else, let's get it up in the comments or in the chat or whatever you want to call it. We are going to be live streaming again tomorrow with Brian for my Tesla weekend, where we will be doing another episode of Fast Charging with B&B. And that will be fun, as it always is. Brian and I like to just talk about a lot of the EV stuff and make fun of some of them. Open to the Road said back in 2010 was the big hailstorm, and it was in Gilbert, from, if I recall correctly, and I said about 10 years ago. I was close. Sheet Face, nice name. Do you think Nikola will meet the 500 trucks delivered before the end of the year? Their goal was 300 to 500. I think that they're definitely getting over 300, and I don't want to say right now, but I think they're definitely going to beat the 300, but that's just a projection. I would be surprised if they didn't. So yeah, they're going to make the 300. 500, I don't think they'll make 500, but it is possible. It really is possible. So, Jokel says, "Hi Bear, did you ever test the latest Volvo car?" I haven't tested any Volvo cars unless you want to count the Polestar. In some places, that Polestar is considered a Volvo, like when I have to enter its information online, or register for something, it has to be registered as a Volvo. And other than that, I've actually never driven a Volvo, electric or gas. So, I don't know. Probably one day in the future, I might, if I get an opportunity to. All right. So we're getting ready to draw this to a close. I appreciate all you guys, 96 of you on there and 70 likes. So that is pretty good. Daniel thinks over 500. And it is possible the way they are ramping up. But they need to have all the materials, and it's hard to say if they will or not, because they're dependent on other companies. So we shall see. Over 500 would be fantastic, and that would be great. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully tomorrow is a better day in the stock market for everybody, except for whatever Micah invests in. So anyway, everybody, thanks for watching. We appreciate you a lot, and we're going to get going, and we'll see you next time.